Impromptu. For thou art a peculiar people unto the Lord thy power. Shalom. First and foremost, giving all praises, honor, glory, respect, and blessings to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakha Kwadash. Salutations to the Lord's elect on the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth and sincerity while patiently waiting for Yahweh Shai's return. And double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, which have taught us everything we know through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. And welcome to another series of Impromptu, being brought to you by the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. This is the brother Yashamai, glorifying and uplifting Yahweh, Yahweh Shai in the world, and speaking into existence the defeat and destruction of Babylon the Great, which is the United States of America. Okay, through the prophecies that are written throughout the Holy Scriptures. In the name of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. Now, this video right here is based on a video that I found on one of my alternative channels, Dark Matter Yahweh Amafba. Okay, and this video was presented to me through one of my recommendations. Now, this guy right here that you see on my screen right here, he is known as the Black Bruce Lee, destroying monsters. And what you will find out about this guy is that in his career, okay, by the time he retired from his career, he left the ring being undefeated, 49-0. Okay, he's never lost a single match in his career. Okay, I believe he was either a Muay Thai. He was a Muay Thai fighter, or he could have been a kickboxer. But from the looks of it, he could have been a Muay Thai fighter. Okay, but I'm gonna play this video, and you're gonna see why in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 6, the Lord said concerning our nation, the Hebrew Israelites, which are the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native Indians, that the Lord said to us that we are a peculiar people. The Lord called us peculiar, and you're going to see why. So let's go ahead and play this video and continue from there.
There's no fighter better than me in the world.
He's 49-0 in title defenses.
But he's also 97-6 overall.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I do not believe in styles anymore. How can I express myself totally and completely? In that way, it's a process of continual growth.
To deserve such a legendary name such as the Black Bruce Lee, one has to be a legend. And this man, fight fans, is as legendary as it comes. Fans of Bruce Lee believe that a fight's success does not depend on the style. Instead, it depends purely on the fighter. If there was one fighter that proved this theory correct, it's Manson Gibson. He is the ultimate proof that the right practitioner can make anything work, even the wackiest and weirdest techniques. By all standards of freak athlete, he is a true monster who could pull off anything in the ring.
Manson, I'm an alien fighter.
Okay, what does that mean?
That means you won't feel it.
No one dares to fight like him today because they would just get destroyed and called a clown. But the Black Bruce Lee was no clown. He fought with the best of his era and even destroyed Muay Thai champions.
Ultimately, martial art means honestly.
And let me tell you something. Bruce Lee was a Jake, okay? Bruce Lee was an Israelite. Now, I don't know what tribe he was from, but I know he was an Israelite based on the spirit, okay? Based on how he fought, based on his actions, his decision making, and even his quotes, which are very inspirational, okay? And Bruce Lee is personally my most favorite fighter. Okay, he is my most favorite fighter of all time. Okay, and a matter of fact, in my younger days, I used to watch Bruce Lee movies. And a matter of fact, I believe I watched every movie that Bruce Lee starred in, because I was just so inspired by, you know, the energy and the spirit and the energy that he put into all of his fighting. You know, and you know, he's a part of the reason why, you know, I've inspired to train to fight myself. I trained to fight, you know. He's the reason why, you know, I train with my fighting style like the way I do. You know, when I train, you know, I train in a very unusual way, you know. I mean, I don't want to say too much about my fighting style because it's not really important. It's not for anybody to know. But, you know, basically, Bruce Lee, you know, he's a part of the reason why I've, you know, he's the one who inspired me to fight like the way I do when especially when I train with my fighting style. Okay, but again, I'm not going to say too much about my fighting style because it's not important, and it's not for you to know. It's not for anybody else to know. But you know, Bruce Lee is my most favorite fighter of all time. And you know, I mean, the way he fights, it completely stands out from it stands out from every other person that we see fighting today, you know. And a lot of people, they try to mimic how Bruce Lee fight, and they just can't do it. Because you see, when Bruce Lee fought, he put his life, his soul, and his spirit into it. You know, Bruce Lee was more than just kicks and punches, knees and elbows. You know, a lot of when Bruce Lee fought, it was mostly in his, you know, the moves he did. You know, it came from him having a well cultivated mind. A mind that was well focused, concentrated, cultivated. You see, he trained his mind to be able to just about nearly auto-react to anything that come his way. Just like how when you strike water, automatically it strikes back at you. You see? You know, when it came to how Bruce Lee fought, it was more of a mental thing than a physical thing. That's where I'm getting at. It doesn't matter how strong your kicks are. Where's your mind at when you're throwing the kick? But anyways, you know, man, you know, I love Bruce Lee. You know, he's one of my most favorite fighters of all time. You know, definitely my most, Bruce Lee is my most favorite fighter of all time, you know. There will never be another good fighter like Bruce Lee in our generation. Okay, especially the way the world is going, man. You know, Jake is through out here, man. But you know, it's really cool to see somebody out there, you know, who was, you know, inspired by Bruce Lee. Well, I wouldn't say the man was inspired by Bruce Lee, but the way the guy fights in that boxing ring, man, you can tell that he's not limited by you know, styles or limitations. Like Bruce Lee said, your limitations must have no limitations. You know, and a lot of people don't understand what that means, you know. But anyways, you know, let's go ahead and play this video.
Expressing yourself. Now it is very difficult.
But like I said, Bruce Lee was an Israelite, okay? Okay? Somewhere down the line, his father's lineage on his father's side went back to either a so-called Negro, Latino, or Native Indian, which are the true Hebrew Israelites. So Bruce Lee is indeed an Israelite.
I mean, it is easy for me to put on a show and be cocky and then feel like pretty cool. But to express oneself honestly, not lying to oneself, that.
To express oneself honestly, not lying to oneself. That's the spirit of a Jake right there. That's the spirit of an Israelite, man. To express oneself honestly, you know. You're not just throwing the punch out there just because it may look cool, it may look quickly, you know. You know, what does it truly mean to honestly express yourself when it comes to throwing those punches or kicks? You know, and let me tell you something, man. You know, to express yourself honestly when teaching, when serving the Lord, when you're working in the ministry of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, to express yourself honestly, that's a great and a spiritual and an honest feeling. And not too many people can achieve that when the Lord wake them up to the truth. I'm not saying I have achieved that. I'm not saying I have achieved that. But what I am saying is that, you know, to express yourself honestly and without pretense, with sincerity, how great is that feeling? To know that you're just being yourself and that you're just being sincere when you're pushing the 100% truth. And you're giving it your all. You can learn a lot from Bruce Lee. Especially when you're worshiping and serving Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai.
My friend, is very hard to do, and you have to train. But when you want it, it's there. If I want to punch, I'm gonna do it, man, and I'm gonna do it.
That is exactly what this legend did, and by doing so, he destroyed the monsters of his time, all while staying true to his style.
There's no fighter better than me in the world. 5-0 Japan, 5 kick knockout.
These 49-0 in title defenses.
9-0 in title defenses.
But he's also 97-6 overall record.
That's amazing.
Most people don't know him today, and they have never seen a Taekwondo and Kung Fu master so great. His name is Manson Gibson, and he's got some of the best nicknames in combat sports history.
And you look at him and you say, what kind of style is that? And that's what's been the hardest thing for opponents, is to figure out Manson Gibson's style. He's pushing 100 professional fights, fighting fighters from all over the world, bar none. He's fought them all.
No one has made these techniques work as a professional fighter, even beating Muay Thai legends with these crazy combinations. His ridiculous spinning attacks destroyed monsters around the world. These weren't just any fighters, they were the greatest legends of his time. Usually Taekwondo and Kung Fu fighters get destroyed, but the Black Bruce Lee was so spectacular that he broke all the textbook rules of today's striking and still dominated anyways. As a fighter, he was extremely deceptive, often faking a glove touch and then ending the fight with a spin kick. He'll even troll them by offering more glove touches after the fight. His ridiculous spinning attacks destroyed monsters around the world. These weren't just any fighters, they were the greatest legends of his time. Usually Taekwondo and Kung Fu fighters get destroyed, but the Black Bruce Lee was so spectacular that he broke all the textbook rules of today's striking and still dominated anyways. As a fighter, he was extremely deceptive, often faking a glove touch and then ending the fight with a spin kick. He'll even troll them by offering more glove touches after the fight. He could literally do the Karate Kid against a legend and then spin kick him in the head right after. At an 80% knockout ratio with 88 career knockouts, he is one of the greatest knockout artists of all time, earning him another legendary nickname, the Master Blaster. Yes, his name literally means that when he hits someone, he blasts them away. Even more impressively, he is a master of baiting. He will masterfully bait his opponents in, and then masterfully blast them away with a knockout blow. He can throw bombs from the most unusual angles, and each shot could produce a knockout. Even more impressively, Manson Gibson was even dubbed the Muay Thai Slayer for beating several top Muay Thai fighters.
Touchdown is okay, but in America...
So, I mean, that's all the video I'm going to play right there. Lord's will, I'll put the link of this video in the description so you brothers can watch it for yourselves. You know, I mean, if you want to do a video on it or whatnot. Okay. So, let's go ahead and get some scriptures up here. Okay, Genesis chapter 25, verse 23. It says, "And the Lord said unto her," unto who? Rebekah, "Two nations are in thy womb, and two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger." Now, let's look up this word stronger, because who will come out as the stronger people? Jacob would. And Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel after he wrestled with an angel, became the progenitor of the Israelite nation that we see today, in which the Israelites consist of the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native Indians. So-called Negroes that come from the tribe of Judah, so-called Jamaicans that come from the tribe of Benjamin, also known as the West Indians, which come from the tribe of Benjamin, Haitians, which come from the tribe of Levi, Dominicans, which come from the tribe of Simeon, Cubans, which come from the tribe of Manasseh, Guatemalans to Panamians, which come from the tribe of Zebulon, okay, Seminole Indians, which come from the tribe of Reuben, so-called North American Indians, which come from the tribe of Gad, the Argentinians to Chileans, which come from the tribe of Naphtali, so-called Puerto Ricans, which come from the tribe of Ephraim, Mexicans, which come from the tribe of Issachar, okay, and Slovakia, if I forgot a tribe, but these people right here make up the Israelites today, and that's according to biblical prophecy, and that's also according to biblical facts. These are the Israelites which come from Jacob right here in Genesis the 25th chapter. Okay, so the Lord said that two nations of people shall be separated from their bowels, right? So the one people that's Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel. Jacob is our forefather, okay? And naturally, mentally, spiritually, and physically, we are stronger than anybody else on this planet, okay? We dominate at anything we set our hands to do. Whatever we put our mind to, we greatly excel at it. because that is a part of the blessings which the Lord has given us. So let's look up this word stronger, which goes back to the Hebrew word amatz. Okay, amatz, or yeah, amatza. I believe that's amatza, but I say amatz, but I believe it's amatza. You know, somebody can correct me if I'm wrong on that. But down here, what do we see? It says to be strong, right? Ain't that what the black Bruce Lee, who's known as Manson? Okay, his name is Manson, right? Ain't that the personification that he gave off? To be strong, alert, courageous, brave, stout, bold, solid. Okay, that man gave off some solid move. He gave out some solid moves in those boxing rings. You see, hard. You see, hard. What does it mean to be hard? Solid, like a rock, right? A rock is what? Immovable. Okay, it's immovable. It's not easy to crack. You know. And you know, it's you can't move it. It's solid. It's firm. Which that word rock is really a metaphor for like a mountain, because you can't really move a mountain. You can't really move a mountain, right? Okay. So it says to be strong, brave, bold. Okay, he won in that ring bold, right? To strengthen, secure, for oneself, harden heart, make firm, make obstinate, to be determined. You know, and you know, a lot of people, a lot of Israelites, you know, who set up their career as a, you know, UFC fighter, an MMA fighter, a boxer, kickboxer, Muay Thai fighter, you know, taekwondo, etc., you know, the ones who come out with the greatest success are the ones who are very, very determined. They're not going in there because they want to make a name for themselves. You know, they're not going in there because, you know, they just want the money, they just want a couple of titles, and then they're going to retire and enjoy the rest of their life. No, they go in there because they are determined to win. So it says to be determined, make oneself alert, strengthen oneself, confirm oneself, persist in. And when you really want to achieve something, you're going to be persistent in it. What does it mean to be persistent in something? It means to constantly go at it over and over and over and over and over again until you have achieved what you've wanted. Okay, check this out. Prove superior to. Yeah, we are the superior nation on this planet. Okay? We are the superior people on this planet. The Lord created us to be superior above every other nation on that planet. The Lord made us to be superior above every nation on this planet. It says to exhibit strength. Well, he definitely showed that in the ring, right? Be strong, feel strong. What did Bruce Lee say to that one guy? That the one guy, there was a scene in a movie where there was this guy, he looked up at the moon when Bruce Lee was no, not that one. There was a oh yeah, that is the same movie. Bruce Lee asked the guy a question. And basically the guy said, let me think about it. And Bruce Lee basically smacked him on the top of his head, and you know what he said? He said, "Don't think, feel. You gotta feel it, man." You know, just like the Black Bruce Lee said, you know, he said they won't even feel it. You see? You see? You know, don't think, feel. Hey, a lot of these guys who fell out the truth, man, they didn't feel the spirit. They didn't feel the spirit that the Lord brought upon them. You know? You gotta feel this thing in order to get involved into the ministry of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. But here it says what? To feel strong. Okay? So let's go back. And let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 6. So the Lord said that we would be strong. The one people shall be stronger than the other. And now it said the one people, right? We know that's talking about Jacob. The one people shall be stronger than the other people. Who's the other people? That's Esau, Edom. Okay, that's the so-called white nation, starting with the so-called elites, trickling down to the rest of their nation of people. So we're stronger than these so-called white people. Okay. No matter how many times they try to beat us down and say this and that about us, the facts are in the Holy Scriptures that we are above you so-called white people. We are superior to you so-called white people. Point blank, period. And just because you look like a so-called white person does not mean that you're an Edomite, which would be a descendant of Esau. Because you got Israelites out there that look like so-called white people that literally dominated sports. Why? Because they're Israelites, which means what? Their father's lineage on their father's side goes back to a so-called Negro, Latino, or Native Indian. Okay? Their father's lineage on their father's side goes back to a so-called Negro, Latino, or Native Indian, which are the true biblical Israelites. So if your father's lineage on your father's side goes back to a so-called Negro, Latino, or Native Indian, presuming to Numbers 1 and 18, you're an Israelite, regardless of what you look like, because your father's lineage on your father's side goes back to a so-called Negro, Latino, or a Native Indian. Deuteronomy 76. For thou art a holy people. The word holy goes back to the Hebrew word Quadash, which means separate. Okay, there's a reason why the book is called the Holy Bible. It is a separate book. Okay, which the word Bible, I believe, goes back to the Latin biblios, which means a collection of books. A collection of books. So there's a reason why it's called the Holy Bible. The separate, the separate collection of books. There's a reason why it's called that, because these are books that were written by holy men that were moved by the spirit of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. For thou art a holy. We are holy people. Yeah, we the Israelites, we are holy. We are separate. We're not like these other nations. We are separate. We are sacred unto the Lord. For thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy power. Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai thy power. Yahweh thy power, which the word God goes back to the Hebrew word Allah, which means what? Power. For the Lord thy power have chosen thee to be a special people unto himself. Right? Above all people that are upon the face of the earth. So the Lord have chosen us to be a special people unto himself. Let's look up this word special. Let's see. Okay. The Lord have chosen thee to be a special people. And we see what? Sagala. Sagala. The Hebrew word sagala. And what do you see there? We see possession, we see property, we see valued property, which we are the Lord's property, okay? Is not Israel likened unto a comely and delicate woman? Yeah, we're the Lord's woman, right? A woman that belongs to a man is a man's property, okay? So yeah, if a man have a woman, he has property, okay? A woman is a man's property. So guess what? We're the Lord's property. We are the Lord's possession, okay? Okay, and where it says the Israel's likened unto a comely and delicate woman, I believe that can be found in Jeremiah the 2nd chapter. Okay. So it says peculiar treasure. We are likened unto the Lord's peculiar treasure. Now let's look up the word peculiar. Okay. This is the definition of peculiar from google.com.
Peculiar.
Peculiar. Okay. Let's see what it says right here. Peculiar, right? Excuse me one moment. Satan is at work here. Okay, so peculiar, we have the word strange or odd, unusual. So these different, many amazing feats that we do amongst these other nations, people's going to find it odd. People's going to find it, people's going to find it strange. Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, rebuke you, Satan. Salakia. Satan at work there. Salakia, I'm in the spirit right now. I mean, Lord's will, I'm in the spirit. Okay, but okay. Here we have strange, we have odd, we have unusual. So we're unusual people. Which the word unusual means what? Not usual. Not common. Because the rest of these heathens out here, they're common. You know? They walk like standard people. They have no liveliness to them. But guess what? Are we not likened unto lively stones? So we're unusual. We do things that people find strange or odd. We do things that people find to be unusual. You know? You know? Down here we have particular and we have special. So let's see. Let's look up that word special. Let's see if the word special comes down here. Private, essential. So the word essential means vitally important. So we're vitally important to the Lord, okay? Unique. Look at that. The Lord calls us unique. So we're special in the sight of the Lord. You see that? The Lord calls us unique. Conspicuous. Notable. Somebody who's notable is somebody that you're going to take note of. You're going to watch that person and you're going to learn from that person, which is where you take notes from. Whether if you're taking notes in your mind or if you're writing the notes down physically. Remarkable. Unmistakable. Okay, let's see. Essential. I already saw that. Specific. Representative. Okay. Hey, we are representatives of the Lord here on the earth. Okay, like there was a saying, I believe it was 3 years ago. Okay, Apostle Tahar said that we are like many Most Highs here on the earth. Okay, so we're like representatives of the Most High here on the earth. We're like many versions of the Most Highs here on the earth. So if we're likened unto many Most Highs here on the earth, what does that make us? Representatives of the Most High Yahweh. Okay? So it says distinctive characteristic. Yeah, like like you know, as my walk in this truth, you know, I've heard a couple of brothers say, "Hey, yo, Jake is a character," and that's true because Jake is a character, man. You know, Jake. Sometimes, hey, trust me, I know, man. Jake would do some stupid shit sometimes. You just gotta laugh, like, bro, like, why the fuck would you do that? You know, hey, Jake could be a character, man. Especially some of these stand-up comedy Israelites. You see some of these stand-up comedy Israelites, like Kevin Hart. You know that. Hey, man, I remember when I first watched that dude, man. That dude had me crying, man. I was laughing so hard, I was crying. You know, especially that one scene where he especially that one scene where he said the thug laugh. That thug laugh had me dying, bro. You know, you got Israelites that are very talented at making you laugh amongst these different movie industries, like different Israelites, like Stephen Carwell. You know, Stephen Carwell from Bruce Almighty, who played Evan Baxter. I believe he's an Israelite. You know, I mean the way he played that part in Bruce Almighty was just, yo, it had me dying, bro. Okay, only Jay can make you laugh that fucking hard. Then you got Jim Carrey. Okay, he's an Israelite from the tribe of Ephraim. Okay, you know. And then you got outstanding actors who can play their role like super very well, like Denzel Washington. You know, some of the best movies he made were movies like Training Day. You know, Training Day. What else? There was another movie he starred in too, but it was really good. I forgot the name of the movie, but in the movie he would press a button on his watch, and basically, as the time limit went off, as the time limit went down on his watch, he would assassinate his targets. But before time ran out, I forgot the name of that movie, but that movie was badass. And then he also starred in a movie called The Book of Eli, which which means Allah Yah. Eli is Hebrew for Allah Yah, which means my power. And if I'm saying that right, the my power. So the book of Eli literally means the book of my power, which what is the book of the Israelites' power? The Holy Scriptures. Okay. So, you know, hey, the so-called elites, they know that there's power in the Holy Scriptures. That's why they used it to control the Israelites during slavery. But what was I going to say? You know, you also have other amazing actors too, such as Will Smith. Okay, Will Smith. You know, Robert Patrick, who played Liquid Metal T-1000 in Terminator 2 Judgment Day. I believe Robert Patrick is a Jake. Okay, I believe he's an Israelite. You know, hey man, the way he played Liquid Metal T-1000 in that movie, everybody was talking about it, man. I mean, shoot, man, he low key kind of, you know, gave me some bad dreams when I was a child. Because when I first saw that movie, I was a child. You know, I grew up off of that movie. You know, like the way he played Liquid Metal T-1000 in that movie, he had people on the edge of their seats, man. Like you had critics coming out saying he played that role a little too fucking well. You know, the role of the villain, which was a Liquid Metal T-1000. You know. And then, of course, you got your basketball stars like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant. You know, you know, I guess you could say LeBron James in a way. You know, but hey, Michael Jordan is a legend, man. You know, the way he used to just jump, jump from the free throw line and just slam dunk, man. Man. Then of course you got your quarterbacks, you know, your famous quarterbacks, which are Israelites. You got your famous UFC stars. You know, you got your famous boxers like Floyd Mayweather, Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali. You know, you got your favorite, you got your most popular kung fu artists like Bruce Lee. You know, Bruce Lee. You know, you have I mean, hey, our people is everywhere, man. Okay. So we are the Israelites, the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native Indians are the superior race on the planet. Okay. So the Lord made us to be special, man. You know, unusual, odd, funny. You know, let's look this up. You know, that word shouldn't be in here. Okay, uncanny, unfamiliar. You see that? Abnormal. Okay, anomalous, untypical, different. You see that? Different. Isn't that why the scriptures call us the outcast? Did not the Lord say He would gather the outcast of Israel? What's an outcast? A person who is different from the rest of the community. Okay, but in this case, you know, our people, the Israelites, were considered outcasts, right? Because we outshine these different people no matter where we are scattered. You know, these heathen nations, especially the so-called white nation, they're jealous of us. They are jealous of us Israelites. Why? Because we're different. We're out of the ordinary. We're out of the way. We're exceptional. We're rare. Come on, man. We're extraordinary. Which, when you really read that word slowly, it's extraordinary. Which means beyond ordinary. Okay, so we're not ordinary people. We're remarkable. We're puzzling, you know. Some of the things you see our people do, you'll be like, how the hell is he doing that? Mystifying, mysterious. You know, believe it or not, I consider myself to be a mysterious person. Okay? Even when I first came into truth, I've always considered myself to be a mysterious man. You know? And even to this very day, you know, very little to nothing is known about me. Even though I'm living amongst these brothers, I'm not bragging or boasting in it. I'm just sharing a little something about myself. Even though it's not really important, but you can say that I'm a mysterious person. Okay? I'm a very mysterious person, actually. Very little to nothing is really known about me. I don't really say too much about myself. You know, I don't really want to say too much, but I am a mysterious person. A very mysterious person. Here we have perplexing, right? We have baffling. Let's see. Uncommon. There goes that word uncommon. Irregular. Okay. Deviant. Suspicious. Questionable. Questionable, but in a good way. Okay. Not natural. Okay. I don't know why they would have creepy in there. That's not. There's a lot of words in here that shouldn't be in here. Like spooky. Nah, man. Nah. Spooky should not be in there. But that's why you got to learn how to read. You know. That's why you got to learn how to pick the meat off the bones. Okay. We see rum. Okay. eccentric, outlandish, offbeat, quirky. Let's look up quirky actually. Okay, let's look up quirky. What is quirky? Quirky or quirk? Okay,
Quirky.
quirk, characterized by peculiar or unexpected traits. And that's what we have. The Lord blessed us with unexpected traits. Well, to the people, we appear to have unexpected traits because people do not expect for us to do the things that we do. Not orthodox, unusual, you see? Eccentric, unconventional. You see? So the Lord made us as a beautiful nation, man. A very beautiful nation. Okay, so let's go here real quick, right? Let's type in Bible and see. For Yaquab is the former, and that's why these other nations are jealous of us, because they don't have what we have. And what do we have? We have the salt, we have the flavor, we got the bomb. Okay, but Jacob is the former of all things, KJV. So don't ever let nobody tell you, if you're so-called, if your father's line goes back to the Israelites I mentioned earlier, the Seminole Indians and the Dominicans and Rubens and so forth. If your line goes back to the so-called Negro, Latino, or Native Indians, don't let anybody tell you that you're nothing, because the Lord said that you are a peculiar people unto him, a special people unto himself. Jeremiah 10 verse 16. The portion of Jacob who is our forefather, okay, Jacob who became the progenitor of the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native Indians, who are the true Hebrew Israelites today. The true Hebrew Israelites today. The portion of Jacob is not like them, for he is the former of all things. Jacob is the former of what? All things. And Israel is the rod of his inheritance. The Lord of hosts is his name. So we are the former of all things, okay? Who do you think invented refrigerators and the first elevator and the first toilet and the first engine to the airplane so it can fly? We did. We invented those things. We invented the first car engine. We invented the first wheel. We invented toilet paper so you motherfuckers, you unappreciative ass heathens out there, could wipe your ass. We invented toilet paper, you unappreciated ass heathens. But anyways, we invented toilet paper. We invented the first refrigerator. We know. Okay, we taught these Edomites how to invent light bulbs. The invention of light bulbs came from us. We are the former of all things. With that, I'm going to say shalom. So on to the next one.